Now I recognize the gentleman from Pennsylvania who's been waiting patiently, Mr. Cartwright, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I find myself utterly dissatisfied with the explanations we've heard today, and I want to train my attention on you, Mr. Hess. You have made some fine distinctions about what that employee of your company was doing, the one that got hacked and who was working on OPM's systems at the time, and because of that hack, that employee became a victim and lost personal information, and that led to the successful hacking of OPM systems. Have I broadly described that correctly, sir?
We actually do not know how the employee's credentials were compromised.
All right, but it was a KeyPoint employee. Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
And you are the CEO of KeyPoint, right?
That is correct.
All right, and you are denying accountability for that hack, for the OPM hack, and what you said was the employee was working on OPM systems at the time, not KeyPoint's. That's what your testimony was, correct?
That is correct.
Well, so we have an individual's OPM credentials that were taken. That individual happened to be a KeyPoint employee. Did that KeyPoint employee have OPM credentials as part of his or her scope of employment with KeyPoint?
Correct.
Okay. It wasn't a coincidence that this KeyPoint employee had OPM credentials. It was part and parcel of his or her scope of employment with your company, wasn't it?
That is correct.
All right. And it was KeyPoint paying this person as the person was working on OPM systems at the time. Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
And you understand, under traditional concepts of the law, is responsible for the acts of its employees acting within the scope and course of their employment with your company. You understand that, don't you?
I'm not familiar with that construct.
All right. Mr. Hess, you're here today because a cyber espionage operation succeeded in breaching very personal information that your company was entrusted with. On January 6, 2015, my ranking member, Mr. Cummings, sent you a letter requesting information about the data breach. His letter requested a number of documents. Did you get the letter?
Immediately upon receiving the letter, KeyPoint counsel reached out to the ranking member staff to arrange for a briefing, and we try to have a date and time set up, and we are still waiting for confirmation on that.
You got the letter, right?
Yes, sir.
And more than 5 months later, you haven't responded with documents. Am I correct in that?
We've reached out immediately to the ranking member staff to brief the staff, and we have not received a response on a time and date to do so.
Well, let's go through the document requests that Mr. Cummings made. He requested a log of all successful cyber intrusions into your company's networks in the last 4 years. That's a reasonable request, isn't it, Mr. Hess?
I don't find it unreasonable.
Will you provide this to the committee?
I will take that back to my team and let you know.
You're the boss there, aren't you?
I am the CEO.
All right. But you're going to get permission from your team who work for you. Is that it?
I'm going to take it back and discuss it with my team.
Let's go to the next request. Copies of all forensic analyses and reports concerning the data breach, including findings about vulnerabilities to malware. When will you provide these documents to the committee? I'll
take that request back to my team and let you know.
Ranking Member Cummings requested a list of all federal customers affected by the data breach. Will you provide to the committee?
I will take that back to my team and let you know.
Mr. Hess, your company exists because of the largesse of the United States federal government. We expect you to respond to requests from this committee. Mr. Cummings does not write letters because he just enjoys writing letters. He's concerned about the security and the safety not only of federal employees, but of the United States public. This is really important. Will you please treat it as such?
I do, Congressman Cartwright. We responded immediately to Congressman Cummings' request by calling their staff, having our counsel, and I would also
by responding and calling, but not providing the documents. We want the documents, Mr. Hess. I yield back.